Have you ever wondered why you tend to crave junk foods when you're highly stressed? Those are foods that are highly processed, high in sugars. The answer is because there's a highly complex system of hormones and neurotransmitters that are running through your body. Even the person with the strongest willpower might actually cave under times of severe stress. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the reasons why we crave carbohydrates under times of severe stress. So stay tuned. Welcome to Be Well Healthy Living. My name is Tara and I'm a Master Certified Health and Wellness Coach. When you're under times of severe or chronic stress, it's going to throw off that delicate balance of hormones in your body, and it's going to make it virtually impossible to lose weight or tackle other health things that you're trying to fix. In this video, I'm going to be discussing 3 reasons why you tend to crave carbohydrates during times of stress. I'm also going to be discussing some ideas that you can do to help to relieve those cravings when you're going through some very difficult times. Number 1, carbohydrates lower cortisol. Most people are aware of cortisol and they know cortisol to be the stress hormone. The reason why is because when you're under times of stress, our adrenals release more cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone that's designed to be protective when we are under stress. There are some actually good functions of cortisol, like early in the morning, to help you wake up. And I talk about that here in this video right here. A little bit of cortisol at specific times is not necessarily a bad thing, and it's actually there to help us under those times of stress. However, chronic stress, ongoing stress, long-term severe stress, our bodies are not designed to handle that type of stress. So what happens is that when our bodies are under times of severe ongoing stress, we have elevated levels of cortisol in our body. Cortisol is responsible for belly fat or for fat accumulation. Some people tend to lose weight under times of severe stress, and that generally comes from a lack of appetite or lack of being able to eat. Sometimes it works different parts of that emotional brain where you just simply cannot eat. And while you may lose weight during times of severe stress, it's not recommended because you're going to gain it back once you start eating normally again, because you're going to disrupt your metabolism in that process. So that actually happened to me one time. I lost a lot of weight under times of severe emotional stress. I didn't eat. I couldn't eat because I had no appetite. But once I started eating again, it all came back with a vengeance. So it's not a good way to lose weight. Most people, on the other hand, tend to hold on to weight when they're under times of stress. Not only because the hormones tend to keep it there, but because also during those times when our hormones are out of balance, when we have more cortisol running through our body, we're going to tend to reach for those comfort foods, reach for those high energy foods, reach for the foods that are high in sugar, that are going to have a quick energy impact on your body. Your body might tend to crave quick energy items, and those items are always the ones that are empty carbs, high in sugar, or caffeinated beverages. Also, another thing to remember is that the brain actually requires more energy. So if you are undergoing times of mental or emotional stress, you're going to need a lot of that energy because you're using all of that up. So you're going to tend to go for those high energy items, and those high quick energy items are not going to be those complex carbs because they take too long to process through your system. The high energy carbs are going to be high sugar items that tend to hit your bloodstream really quickly. Carbohydrates do lower cortisol, so it's not a bad idea to get carbohydrates if you are stressed. However, the trick is to make sure that you're getting those good complex carbs like fruits and vegetables. It's better to work in a piece of fruit that's going to have that same function in your body like a carbohydrate, but yet it's not going to go quickly through your bloodstream like those simple sugars are going to do, because it has that fiber to slow it down. So eating those complex carbs are going to give you the beneficial effects of the carbohydrates that lower the cortisol without spiking your blood sugar and without making the problem worse. Number 2, carbohydrates boost serotonin. Serotonin works in the body both like a neurotransmitter and like a hormone. They play different roles, but serotonin is known as the feel good hormone. So when you're under stress, you're looking for that hit of feeling good. So serotonin is one of those hormones, one of those neurotransmitters that your body knows is going to make you feel better. So you're going to crave, you're going to desire and want those things that are going to instantly make you feel good. And so when you eat a carbohydrate, it's going to boost that serotonin, which is going to instantly make you feel better. I've also discussed the relationship between serotonin and sleep in numerous videos, any of my sleep videos, and you can take a look at my sleep playlist where I discuss at length about how serotonin affects sleep and the proper timing of carbohydrates to get that serotonin boost to help to get you to sleep better. Number 3, carbohydrates release dopamine. Dopamine is another neurotransmitter and hormone. It operates as both, just like serotonin that runs through your body. Now, the difference between serotonin and dopamine is more of a reward-centric hormone, meaning that when you get that quick hit, it releases that dopamine. So it's a pleasure response. It is something that happens when you might be on social media and you see more likes or responses to a post. You're going to get a dopamine rush. You're going to get a dopamine rush when you check something off of your checklist. But you also get dopamine rushes from food. And that's where we have to be careful, because a lot of those empty carbohydrate foods, again, are going to provide that quick dopamine hit. So quick recap, 3 reasons why you crave carbs under times of stress. Number 1, because carbohydrates lower cortisol. They lower that stress hormone. Number 2, it boosts serotonin. So it helps boost that feel-good hormone. And number 3, it also raises and gives you those dopamine hits. Again, dopamine is also another hormone or neurotransmitter that helps feel good. It's known as a feel-good hormone. So let's talk about some ideas that can help you with those carbohydrate cravings under times of stress. Now remember, carbohydrates are not bad. It's the type of carbohydrate that you consume and when you consume it. That is the key takeaway. So the first and most obvious thing that I'm going to be discussing as an option to help you with those cravings is to help to control the controllables. Controlling the controllables is basically just a way is to deal with the things that you can control. If you're under times of stress, sometimes stress is not, it's something that might be out of your hands. Like if you're dealing with a sick family member, you can't really control that. That's just something that you have to deal with. And so just understanding that during that difficult time, you may be having these stress cravings, it may not be the best time to lose weight for you, and just to focus on some other self-care items that you can do to help make you feel good in other ways while you're dealing with whatever needs to be dealt with. For other types of stresses, maybe like relationship issues, job issues, financial issues, things like that, we have to look at those controllables and say, is there something that I could change here that's going to eliminate this stress? And when I was undergoing different parts of stress in different times of my life, there were some things that I could change. And I had to take a good hard look at those things and say, I need this to change and I need to work on making this change happen. So that's all I'm trying to say is just take a look at maybe what you can change and start to work towards that so you're decreasing those stress levels. Focusing on sleep is an imperative under times of stress. Now, I understand sleeping is very challenging and very difficult when you're under times of severe emotional stress. However, there are some things that we can do to help boost and eliminate from our diets that will help make us sleep better. The one thing that you want to boost is having carbohydrates at a later hour in the day. Now, not necessarily too late, but just in the evening time. Make sure that you are getting carbohydrates. And I'm not talking about, again, those empty carbs, getting good fiber-rich carbs, because those are going to boost that serotonin, which is going to help to get you to sleep faster and better throughout the night. Also, make sure to avoid caffeine. I discussed the impacts of caffeine on sleep in this video right here. Reducing alcohol is also a huge thing. A lot of people, when they're under stress, tend to drink alcohol because it makes them feel good and it helps them get them to sleep. While that might be true, you might go to sleep faster if you drink alcohol. It's going to disrupt your NREM sleep, which is your most regenerative sleep that you possibly can get. And it's going to wake you up later on through the night. So you're not going to get a good quality night's sleep throughout the night if you're drinking alcohol. So I do not recommend using alcohol as a solution for multiple reasons, but specifically it will affect your sleep, and getting good sleep will make a big impact. There's so many more ideas that I can recommend how to get good night's sleep. Again, I just recommend checking out my sleep playlist at the end of this video. Drinking a lot of water is also another thing that really helps too, because that gives you that stimulation that you're doing something. Adding a little bit of flavor to it, like adding fruit. I add a protein powder to my water and it tastes like berries, it tastes like mango. It's really good, and I love this protein powder because it's delicious tasting and I get a lot of water in the process. So you could do that. You could add fruit, you could add electrolytes, and I'm not talking about cheap Gatorade electrolytes. There are a lot of really great electrolyte supplements that you can add to your water that help to hydrate you even better than just plain water, believe it or not. Avoiding caffeine is a big one because caffeine raises cortisol levels. So as much as you can reduce caffeine as possible, the better for you, because you don't want to compound the existing stress and cortisol that's in your body. Caffeine's just going to boost and elevate it even that much more. Plus, it might be disrupting to your sleep if you have it too late in the day. That's another big thing, is avoiding caffeine. Avoid sugar as much as possible, because if you're just going to eat that stress sugar, it's going to make you gain weight, which is going to make you that much more stressed and give you more anxiety if you keep going in that direction, because you're going to see yourself gaining weight and you're going to be stressed out about that. That's just going to add to the list of things that you're already stressed about. And the last thing I'm going to recommend is have good food substitutions that you can do. So have healthy snacks in your arsenal of things. So if you do get a stressful snack and you're giving in and you need to have something, have a good base of things that you can pull from. Protein shakes that taste good are one way that I personally like to deal with stress if I'm dealing with stress, because it tastes good, but it's also nutrient dense at the same time. Another good one is yogurt, and make sure that that yogurt is unsweetened, that it's more natural, it's organic yogurt, so it's not filled with all the junk stuff that standard yogurts are, because if you take a look at the label of most yogurts have sugar in them. So get a yogurt that is unsweetened and instead add your own sweetener. And the sweetener that I would recommend is a local honey. Honey is a great food that is going to give you that boost of sweetness. It's going to give you all of that serotonin boost, that boost of dopamine, and it's going to help to lower cortisol. So you're going to get all those health benefits. And honey is actually really good for you. I always recommend getting a locally sourced honey instead of the honey that's commercially packaged at the grocery store. See if you can find one at your local farmer's market. And there's a lot of places that you can actually get a honey from local bees. Chocolate is another one of those foods that is great for reducing stress. Chocolate in and of itself is not a bad thing. It's the commercialized chocolate that's full of sugar and additives and artificial food colorings. Those are the ones that are not going to give us the benefit. So if we can find a chocolate that is higher in concentrate, higher in cacao, or a dark chocolate that is maybe 80%, 75%, 70% chocolate, you're going to get a much better chocolate. There's actually a couple centenarians that have encouraged the eating of chocolate every single day. They are over 100 years old, and one of the keys that they say to their longevity is the fact that they eat chocolate every day. I hope this video has been helpful for you to understand the scientific reasons why your body craves those carbohydrates under times of stress. Maybe you've been feeling guilty about craving foods that you know are terrible for you, but you just can't seem to help it. It's because those hormones and those neurotransmitters, they're overriding everything, and they're pushing you to want and crave things that you need because it's trying to lower that stress. It's trying to lower that cortisol. So don't beat yourself up. Rather, go to it prepared. Knowledge is power, so understanding the reasons why so you can actually have good, beneficial behavior change. Be prepared and know the reasons why you're craving what you're craving. That's the key to good, lasting, long change. If I have provided valuable content for you, please like and subscribe. Also, comment below and just let me know if there's any key takeaways for you and if anything stood out. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching. Peace, blessings, and good health, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.